If you are watching this video because you are wondering how well your pup will do in training, well, I'm here to address any question you may have. The crucial aspect of successful dog training is clear and honest communication between the owner and the trainer. One common pitfall is the failure to inform the dog trainer about previous training attempts, which can result in a lack of progress or even regression in behavior. We encourage our clients to be transparent about their previous experiences with their dogs so that we can choose the best approach to meet their goals. Other things that affect dog training is improper e-collar use, creating the following problematic issue: creating unwanted fear or superstitious associations, putting an e-collar on the dog and zapping them for some unwanted behavior without any form of e-collar conditioning, using poor timing, having no familiarity with collar features and using it on the dog anyhow, using unnecessarily high levels. You think these things won't affect your dog in training, but you would further from the truth. Anything you do to your dog is tattooed to them for life. Any professional dog trainer will be able to see that your dog has had e-collar abuse if they attempt to place a collar on your dog through the fear in the dog's behaviors. See, dogs who have never worn an e-collar do not show any emotions to the stimulus because it's neutral to them. Now let's talk about improper prong collar usage. Place a prong collar on your dog improperly and using it over and over again. Now just think your dog will have unconditioned your dog from the improper use of this tool, which could, 4 weeks of training. If your dog shows no sensitivity to the prong collar, the dog trainer will be able to tell the dog was improperly introduced to the collar by you. Improper use of a prong collar can seriously damage your pup's trachea and delicate neck skin. Furthermore, prong collars may be perceived by the dog as punishment and cause emotional and behavioral issues. Often owners have abused bark collars on their dog, which will affect training down the road. A bark collar is a specific type of training collar that is worn by a dog with a tendency to bark excessively. It is designed to negatively reinforce the barking behavior and, over time, cause the dog to avoid that behavior. The use of bark collars has become controversial during recent years, and many people consider its use a form of animal abuse. The following guide will examine the pros and cons of bark collars and help you decide if a bark collar is right for your dog. So, let's break down these key factors when it comes to your dog's performance in a board and training course. First of all, it's important to note that even if you haven't formally enrolled your dog in any training sessions, you have already started training your pup. Yes, that's right. Training starts from day one when you bring your furry friend home. Now let's talk about potty training. If you have resorted to physical abuse as a form of punishment for accidents in the house, such as hitting, slapping, or even flicking your dog's nose, it can have serious repercussions. Your dog may become head shy, which means they'll cower and avoid any attempts at petting. This behavior makes it difficult for the dog trainer to reward your dog with treats for following commands correctly. Another consequence of physical punishment is that your dog may develop an acceptance for sleeping in their own waste. If you've made your dog lie in their poop as a way to discipline them, they may now believe that it's okay to poop and sleep in it. This is a challenging behavior to break and will require a lot of time and effort on the part of the trainer to address hygiene and obedience issues. Next, we have the topic of feeding. If you free feed your dog and overfeed them, it can pose a problem during training. Trainers often rely on treats as rewards for their canine students. However, if your dog is constantly full from free feeding or overeating, they may be less motivated to work for treats. This can hinder the classical conditioning process where the trainer is trying to shape new behaviors or reinforce existing ones. It's important to establish a feeding schedule and portion control. For adult dogs, feeding them one full bowl of food per day is generally recommended. By taking control of their feeding and removing the option of free feeding, your dog becomes more dependent on you as their provider and becomes more responsive to training. Another crucial aspect to consider is socialization. If your dog has had limited exposure to other dogs, people, or different environments, it may make it more challenging for them to adjust to the new trainers at the board and training facility. Proper socialization from a young age helps dogs develop confidence and adaptability. Without this foundation, your dog may struggle to connect with the trainers, and it could take longer for them to progress in their training. Ultimately, this could result in additional costs for you in the long run. Lastly, let's discuss crate and kennel training. This is an essential part of preparing your dog for a board and training course. If you haven't properly crate or kennel trained your dog before they arrive at the facility, it can lead to excessive crying and barking throughout the night. This behavior indicates stress and can have negative effects on your dog's overall well-being. They may lose fur and weight due to the constant anxiety caused by being confined in an unfamiliar environment without the comfort of a safe space. Crate and kennel training is not only crucial for your dog's mental and emotional well-being, but it's also a safety requirement in training facilities. Dogs need a designated space where they can feel secure and retreat to when necessary. By bypassing this training, your dog may struggle to cope with the new environment, making the training process more difficult for them. In conclusion, there are several key factors that can impact your dog's performance in a board and training course. Potty training, feeding habits, socialization, and crate kennel training all play a significant role in determining how well your dog adapts to the training environment. It's important to consider these factors and address any necessary training before enrolling your dog in a board and training program. By providing your dog with the foundation they need, you set them up for success and ensure a smoother and more effective training experience. I totally understand where you're coming from. Potty training is an important part of welcoming a new dog into your family. But it's crucial to approach it in a positive and compassionate way. Using physical punishment like hitting is not only ineffective, but it can also cause long-lasting emotional harm and damage the bond between you and your furry friend. Here's the thing, dogs are incredibly perceptive creatures. They respond best to positive reinforcement, meaning rewarding good behaviors instead of focusing on the mistakes. This can be achieved through treats, praise, and affection. When your dog does something right, like going potty outside or in their designated spot, make sure to shower them with positivity. Now, accidents can happen, especially during the potty training process. It's important to remember that these mishaps are not intentional acts of defiance from your dog. Instead of resorting to punishment, try to remain patient and consistent in redirecting their behavior. For example, if you catch your dog in the act of having an accident indoors, calmly interrupt them and guide them to their designated spot, then reward them if they finish there. Additionally, implementing a consistent schedule for potty breaks is vital. Dogs thrive on routine, so try to take them outside at regular intervals, especially after meals or naps. By doing so, you're setting them up for success and reducing the chances of accidents inside. Remember, dogs learn best in an environment of love, trust, and positive reinforcement. By using patience, consistency, and rewarding good behavior, you'll be well on your way to successfully potty training your dog without resorting to punishment. Stay positive, keep an open mind, and remember that building a strong bond with your pup is the most important thing of all.